Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So just give me 2 minutes. I'm just trying to find out a file. So just give me 2 minutes.
Good morning, sir.
So your sound is, your voice is not really clear.
Am I audible now? Is it audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is audible.
Okay. Perfect. So first and foremost, happy Raksha Bandhan to all of you. I know like a lot of people are having a festival today, and I am the big culprit who extended this session. I'm really sorry because even it is not in my hands. Yesterday till around a session went till 10 o'clock night. It started at 6 o'clock. But still, I don't want to make a boring session, so try to keep it more interesting. Fine. Okay. Slide. Yeah. So today I'm going to I can based out on our previous conversation with everyone, like one common thing which everyone have as a problem is how to start, where to start. When you start with any kind of data, when you get any data, where to start. I can see a lot of people, they've given me this what to say, input that, sir, when you take the sessions and the visuals and everything you show, it's really exciting, but the same thing when we go and sit and we just pick a data from anywhere and we start doing analysis, we don't know where to start. How many of them have faced a similar issue?
Yes. In fact, in one of my chamber consulting, I asked you that how to read the data. I mean, how we should think out of the box if really we need to interpret the results out of the any report.
So even like a lot of people have this issue, like, yeah, but they have all the idea of like what they want to explore and all this thing. But the problem is everyone, it's a common problem. It's not only for you. Any beginner in analytics have this issue because analytics is not about like writing a software or doing something. It's about exactly thinking certain things based out on assumptions, based out on your domain knowledge and everything. What the biggest mistake most people does commonly is they get a data and immediately they jump starting to analyze. That's where the biggest problem comes, because analytics is more of, you should know what are the questions you're going to ask, right? Number one, if you ask me like what are the ways I do analysis, basically there is some basic structure which we regularly follow. So like last time, I always say, right, like let me share my screen, then it will be easy for everyone to understand. Where's my Can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
You remember
yes.
this slide? How many of them remember this slide?
This was the first slide when
Yes.
we
Yeah.
started our session.
Yeah.
First session, yeah.
So
First session.
every time I would always say, if you're able to write this, and I mean, like, write it in a paper and just keep it in front of you all the time. Whenever you're doing anything, when you're getting discouraged or anywhere you're getting bored, anything, just read this quote again and again. You will get the answer. That is, data will talk to you if you're willing to listen. That means when you get a data, first thing what we do, first thing is like we really need to see from where the data came, who gave the data, and what are the data fields available with it. What is the limitations of the data we need to understand, right? First thing is we need to understand what are the limitations. We cannot directly get some data and do some analysis and take insight from that. We really need to audit whether the data is enough to do the analysis. Am I right? Else, what will happen is like we may jump into a conclusion that okay, based out on this data, this is what the analysis is, right? But the problem is you might be missing a bigger picture of the data. So normally, if you get a data, you really need to know where to start. For that, you need to have a couple of questions in your hand. It can be anything. The questions may not get answer also, but start forming few questions based out on whatever the data it is, from where you got it, what kind of data is available. Very simple example I can say. See, there is what to say. You can see like during COVID-19, right? COVID-19, the pandemic started. Like we were regularly generating data. I mean, like different governments were publishing data regularly on day-to-day basis, each state-wise, district-wise, how much is the new cases, how much recovered, how much has it perished. Like that, we have the records. Now the question, if you have a data like that, keep it like, let me open a spreadsheet first. What's this? Can you mute somewhere? There's a noise coming. Okay. Now consider first and foremost thing. Let's see. I'm having all the country name. Inside a country, I have a state, I have a district, and I have total new cases, total what to say, recovered, and total perished. We have like this. We have data, and we are having a date also. So now I just want, for example, it will be like this: India. In India, which state it is? Like Maharashtra. District is, can anyone say anyone district? Input.
Mumbai.
Okay, Mumbai. The date is considered like 01 Jan 2021. Total number of cases came, keep it like 10,000 new cases. Total recovered is 5,000, keep it. Total perished is 400. Now, similar way, consider that I'm having data for, again, India, Maharashtra, Pune, same 1 Jan 21. Total number of cases came was 11,000. And 500. Likewise, consider we have data for all the district, all the state across India and across country also. Date-wise, we have a data like this. Now, I just want everyone, let's take it like a team effort and let's see what are the different types of questions we can ask to this data. I'm open to it. Like now, you can just think of and just tell me. Let's brainstorm because it's a team activity. Okay. Let's whenever you're telling something, putting a question, immediately we will what to say, you just unmute and tell the questions. Then we will, and then again you have to go back to the mute mode. Okay, so we won't mess it up much. Okay, so whatever questions you are telling, I'm going to write it down here. So now, yeah, it starts. From this data, if you're having this much data points, what are the different types of questions you may ask?
So in the
So to
particular
start
state, how many districts the COVID cases are very high, sir?
So it's like find district-wise COVID cases. What you are specifically looking? New cases, recovered, or death?
New cases.
New COVID cases. Good.
Yes.
That's a good
What is
answer.
the percentage of recovery against the total number of cases?
Percentage of recovery
Against
against
new cases.
total new cases. Great.
compared to
Which
last 6
states have
months.
highest
Positivity rate. What is the
Oh.
positivity rate? I mean, what is
What
the
is the-
ratio of how many cases are coming in regards to how many tests are?
New cases with the recovered.
Sir, age of person, age of
least and most impacted state.
Least,
Least
least
and most impacted.
Locations, or we can specifically we have to put like district,
District, yeah.
district wise, and again
age,
least-
Compared to last
age of patients, sir.
group by
Okay.
age.
Now there is a question here. Is there a column called age?
No.
No,
Then
sir.
we-
No, sir.
Then ultimately there is no use. Let's see from this box, because most important mistakes what everyone does is like whenever they publish the data like the public, they don't generally put the age groups, right? When you get a primary data only, you'll get it. So can you see that very easily you can make an assumption, but that can be put like something like assumption, or let's put it like others. For example, what is the question? Age wise across the country.
Age-wise mortality rate.
Next, age-wise mortality rate
compared to
across
last
what?
6
As
months.
well
Urban-
as percentage, like
Area-wise.
mortality percentage based on the area.
Uh,
Rural
Total
area and urban area.
Yes.
Total
Okay.
active cases in India.
okay, so total
Active cases in India.
because we have the data for that, correct?
And the
Because-
mortality
Even-
percentage actually.
Even
age-
date-wise,
So
week-wise we
mortality,
can
yeah,
see-
here also we can put the mortality percent. Mortality.
So this mortality percentage can be calculated based on the like on the basis of country as well as district wise, can be segregated individually.
Mortality percentage, which can be based out on country wise and state wise, district wise. We can get it. Great. We have
comparing
data.
cases by day, week or monthly data, we can see if it more number of cases are near to some festival or something.
Okay, like
Week-wise,
yeah, that's one way we can do. That is like we can put it here, like cross check
Cases.
with the data of festivals and all the things like new cases. So
Comparing the
one
data from last 6 months.
why I'm putting everything down means these not have complete data, but we can, there is a possibility, because if you get the date and the location, we can get information about any festival happening in that particular district or the particular state. So that's possible. Yeah.
Date-wise new
the
cases
time
in
of
India.
the month, like in which month or which week the highest cases has come.
active case loads per week.
Number of patients, those who were on ventilator.
We don't have that information.
So
Because,
comparing
Recovery rate.
because a ventilator cases, total number of ventilator case, whatever counts, basically they are highly dependent on something like hospital data, right? Generally, they don't put it.
So,
Yeah.
so comparing from last 6 months.
mortality rate compared to
Yes, Mr.
total recovered.
Digam.
Home quarantine.
So Siddhi,
Home quarantine, where the information comes?
During this testing, when we are testing our swab and all these things, so they
Yeah.
are things on the basis of the severity of the.
No, like that's fine. That's absolutely fine that you can put it as a secondary. I mean, like secondary analysis. But let's look into this data. I mean, like how much information can we gather from this small set of data? That means
Percentage of the recovery rate.
because I'll tell you what is the problem. Because when you first focus
So
on
recovery
whatever is there,
percentage in data.
see, getting a data of ventilator patients, getting the data of very specific data, it will take a long time because that will stop your analysis. So let's try to see what are the different questions. Let's see how many questions we can ask on the same data because
Sir, how has the caseload traveled from geography to geography? Let's assume
how was the case across geography?
Across geography. Let's assume Bombay was the first place, so we can track the the tree, the spider web.
So
the ratio of cases across various districts and states
to create a time lapse.
Various
districts or states.
So that we can get the first place of incidence.
Even country, you can say.
Yeah. Recovery rate.
How about timeline view?
Yeah.
Time lapse, yes.
Yeah, recovery rate as well.
Across the globe. See, for this we can use the same thing which I used for temperature data on the India map, right? So if it is running across
So
the
globally, we can take the percentage of recovery rate.
Global, okay, sorry. Global percentage of recovery. Okay.
We can say it as a correlation also.
And compared to our Indian current.
What is that?
Indian percentage also we can take now.
See, one at a time. Anyone when speaks, just pause it. I'm going to take every questions. Let's see how many questions we can ask from the same data. That's the challenge here.
Sir, one more thing we can see that we can mark the trend based on the weeks or months.
Based on
like what are the new cases coming in, total recovered and total perished. So all the trends can be marked here based on the time actually.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
What is the range of increased cases? Like it's in a total number of cases. Is it increasing or stagnant?
Okay, so what is the
range of the total new cases?
New cases and how recovery also is there? How recovery is also?
So different variants also we can check.
So variants also we can put now.
Like
Delta variants, like India variant and South African variant. Mr. Day, abhi ara bol rahe.
Can you even clarify that? I mean, like.
He means to say that we can check the different variants, like there are Delta variant and maybe the
that information I don't.
Okay, that we don't have at this moment. Though, so only as an assumption we can find a way across. We should. That is a good question. That's a really interesting question. So we can put it like in the fourth one. We don't have the data for that at this moment. So still we'll keep it. So check for the.
Can we find?
Check for the variance across the globe.
Sir, what are the red zone and green zone across the district?
Red zones. So no, we have. Do we have the information about that?
Impact of season, like in which season spread is most.
Okay.
And
can we see? Can we see across whether the lockdown was effective? Whether the lockdown was effective.
But sir, we can find the zones as per the data of highest cases in the per district. Like the district which has highest cases can be marked as a red zone.
Okay, then we will put on condition because we have the dates. Every time wise, you can have the date, and we have different district names, so we can put a threshold level. If it is beyond that, it is continuously growing. Definitely, these places can be red. Like that. That can be created. That's secondary. We can keep it. Yeah.
So one question can be like
each day.
How many tests are
COVID tests are conducted each day.
Each day. Right.
So, sir, one question can be like whether we can draw a correlation between the geographic location and the timeline.
Yes, we can do it.
So first wave affected different age group, second wave affected different age group, third wave affected different age group. Can we do that?
Can we see, like slice it like across age groups?
Yes.
How many new cases? How many recovered? And because we just need to know whether who is the highest transmitter, right?
Yes.
For example, if there is a thing. So the
Finding
next
of
one,
the
but we don't have the age
symptomatic and
column.
asymptomatic cases.
Okay. Find the most influencing person, or no need to put like that. You can put it like
Age group, influencing age group.
most influencing age groups. Great.
What is the symptomatic proportion out of the total new cases?
What is
finding the
symptomatic proportion? Symptomatic case proportion out of the total new cases.
Out of total new cases.
Then correlation between geographic location and timeline. Whether there is a correlation
between
geographic location and timeline.
Location and timeline.
Which particular day the spike is high, or any seasonal days like that we can, because date is mentioned. Which particular
So
day.
is there an just check for?
So this point number 15 and 10 isn't these 2 points are same? 15 and 10.
15 and 10. I didn't get you. What is that?
Question number 15 and 10 are same, I think. So that's what he's trying to say.
I'm saying point number 10 and point number 15 are the same thing.
Yeah, that will eliminate. Let's take all the questions first.
Okay. Sir, we can generate a heat map.
Who was telling this? Check for any specific. Okay. I was trying to tell because that's why. So any specific days.
Sir, we can generate a heat map of
Are higher. Yeah, that may be check for weekends.
Seasonal or any festival timings.
Was the lockdown effective? How to understand was the lockdown effective? From the day when the lockdown, from when to when the lockdowns was announced across the states. And is there any kind of interesting thing we can find from that? Okay, then what is the next question?
Total number of vaccinated cases, like that.
No, that is already there.
The correlation between
we
total
can,
recovered
we can
and
derive red, yellow, and green zones. I think somebody mentioned that based on the number of active cases or percentage of active cases. So if the percentage is high, it becomes red. If the percentage is low, it becomes green.
That's what I was
Yeah, we
saying.
can set up a threshold. That is already there. We can. That's where we have put as one point.
Since
that we can do.
Yes, sir. So since you have put in lockdown, which is again a dependent data, maybe we can also put in the correlation between vaccination given in the population and the.
So we can start from, for example, when you have a date and time, like date, time, and location, we can get some information about that particular location from the net. It's, you can just Google it from when to when the lockdown was announced across. So these data are pretty easy to get, right? Because it's already available in another format. That's it. It's not like someone is having so we can get those information, or we can even, there are a lot of APIs which can, API means nothing but web services where you hit the date and time, it will give you the result back of what is the lockdown time, how much time, like this kinds of.
So what I was saying was, you could have a correlation between vaccination given to the population as well, probably.
Correlation
between vaccinated population and the number of cases.
Population and the unvaccinated.
And the unvaccinated, yeah.
Okay.
So recovery and date.
How many people get after the vaccination?
What's that?
How many people affected by COVID after the vaccination?
Correct. How effective? But still, the question here is, we don't have that data, so we have to put it in the second way. That is, this also we can take it.
So recovery and date percentage.
Give me a second. Let me reduce this, lift it, and let's put it here. This is the question number 7.
So,
8. What was the question? What was that last one?
Recovery and death percentage, sir.
Vaccinated. Mitesh, one. Like effect.
Effect of
how many got infected after first dose, and 9th one is how many got infected after second dose. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, gender-wise impact.
Okay, gender-wise impact and new cases.
It should also come in others as we don't have gender information.
Agent and gender-wise impact.
Is it possible for us to find, basically, for example, which was the origin of COVID-19? Which country was the origin of COVID-19? China. But do you know which was the country which was very common for spreading of COVID-19, very frequent? I mean, like the way because COVID-19, majority of transmission happened through air.
Italy and US.
Exactly. So normally any vehicles which was coming through UK and going, UK was a hub from where like the COVID starts spreading to different countries, because they are the second main origin. Okay, that's where the entire pandemic started. Even though China was there, end of the day, because of UK was the junction from which different flights were going to different countries. So that was affected. So likewise, can we see in India, where was the first case, where was the second case, third case, fourth case, how it started moving? Is there a pattern where it's moving from south to north, or whether it is east to west or north to south? So we can understand like whether they already were affected or this was a pattern because of the nearest district got for secondly affected, next nearest, like that. Can we understand that? Because we have data about district-wise, state-wise, day-wise, and total new cases. So, for example, if in one state, for example, initially first it was noted in Kerala, right? COVID-19 first case was in Kerala. So, was it the nearest state was Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and whether they both got affected next, or the strange pattern happened somewhere else? These things we can find from this data or not. Is it possible?
Yes, I think yes, it is possible.
Yes, sir. We can check the date, sir, from the date and the active cases. So which was the city that had the first case can be determined from the date column.
So what we are knowing is, with a just minimal set of data like this, when you start asking questions, this is not going to end. Even this entire session fully 3 hours, I'm asking questions also, you will be giving new questions. Now, see to it. Now, the second thing is, yes, we can get enough questions from that. Based out on these data, can we create new data, new features? Is it possible for us to create new features? If it is possible, what are these? So features identification.
Sir, active cases, number of active cases. So that will be total minus recovered minus perished.
2 cases, which is nothing but total
minus recovered minus perished.
Recovered minus perished.
Right.
The symptoms found in the
Symptoms is not there, no? Like how
active cases. The total active cases.
After cases, there is any person affected that will cover, na?
Which one?
How many
The
How many
date-wise
active cases are there? How many
A percentage of
ratio
perished,
between
percentage of recovered.
Recovery rate.
So percentage
Of perished, percentage of recovered, and percentage of active to the total cases.
Day by day increase in the cases.
rate day by day.
Sir, we have to make it against the global standard. We can do it per million recovery cases per million.
Yeah, we can do it.
So per million, because everybody in the world is calculating against per million how many has recovered, new cases and perished.
Okay.
So it's a metric which has been used.
So we can say a global metrics. So per million, how many cases?
Sir, ratio
Vaccinations
of,
per day.
sir,
Vaccinations
ratio
taken.
of recovered to active cases.
Sir, we can simply mark the trends based on all these.
Yeah.
Like percentage of perished and recovered and active. The trends, what is going on.
Okay.
How many new cases are coming, how many have recovered, how many have perished. So that we can just predict that in the next few days, what is the trend, whether it is going to increase or decrease.
Okay.
Vaccinations taken per day.
Yes.
That's good, but we don't have the information about vaccination, right? So
Which state have the largest number, so we can rank it accordingly.
state-wise ranking, but okay, state-wise ranking we can give it. So for example, yeah, we can group that and we can create state-wise ranking. Yes.
Trend-wise, trend of increase across states. Trend of increase of new cases
across locations. We can put
locations. Yeah.
So
zone segregation depending on the total perished.
Segregation.
Depending on the total
simply
perished.
we can say as clustering to this.
Yeah.
For rural or urban areas?
Rural. This is urban.
Yes.
Comparison.
And even the tourist destinations, sir. Only.
Which one?
The tourist destinations.
I didn't get you.
Tourist destinations, like probably if we say Himachal is a little rural area, so probably if the tourist destination is much, or probably if Mumbai is
tourist destination.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I can say that I'm living in Nilgiris, and here the situation was totally different because we were not having any COVID cases, but someone from down, they came to attend a marriage and they offered to everyone, and it spreaded like anything. As this is a hill station where there's a it's very cold here, and the number of hospitals, I mean like the larger hospital, bigger hospitals were very less. So you won't believe that here the district collector took a very good initiative that without e-pass, no entry here, even after government withdrawn e-pass. And next thing is like every tourist spots were like closed. The simple reason is because the type of age group people who live here are like mostly the one who comes and retire and they spend their life. So if something happens, every time it's tough to take them from here to down. And so what they did is like to take a precaution there. And this is a good question, like across state-wise, district-wise, how was the age group people? Where should I really focus mainly on? Where I should check whether, if for example, if age group, the COVID-19 is really affecting people of higher age group, above 40, 45, 50, like that. So can we find such kind of detail from it? If the age is there, definitely we can find it. Age-wise data is there. So tourist destinations, but this is, we need to get the data from somewhere else. It's not everything we have it. Or we need to classify that, okay, this is whether it's a tourist destination or not, new. For example, we can put like is tourist destination. So we can manually put like Mumbai, yeah, we can put yes. And yeah, we can put it like this, yes or no, 0 and 1. Got my point?
So
that is
wave-wise
possible.
Cases?
Pardon?
First, second wave-wise?
Time-wise increase in the cases as per district, like the more
Time-wise increase in cases That we can put date-wise because we don't have a time attribute here. So date-wise, we can put it, not a problem.
First wave and second wave wise cases.
Pardon?
Wave-wise cases. First wave, second wave, and like that.
Do we have information about the waves?
So we can have travelers traveling from different countries.
That can be deduced.
Maybe we can go with the dates, sir, where the dates started decreasing and again it suited up.
Okay,
so
we
date
can find places which was having a like this. I mean, like let's find something like are there cases where initially the curve was slowly growing like this, and after one particular time it's going down, and suddenly another big peak is happening. We can find it state-wise, district-wise. We can see the spike. I mean, like normally most of places it was just very gradually like this. It was growing, and suddenly after one particular time it keeps standardizing, and slowly it depends. Now, can we find what may be the reason for this particular? Is it possible to find it?
Yes, sir.
Because we have district-wise data, right? Because we can find is there what are the common festivals which was happening, what was the common gatherings which were happening, how many it was happening. Then we can get these data and all. We can get it from internet, right? When you just give a search on that particular day with that location and festivals, if you put, ultimately you'll get a lot of information about it. So you can see what are these places. These places which were going down again, the second thing. So that is what is a second wave, correct? First, when you flatten a curve is coming, and once you flatten it up and going, this is okay. The second wave is again the second one which was going up. There are still a lot of places in India, still the first wave itself is not completed. So can we find which are the state district which has got the second wave, third wave, and first wave? Is it possible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
How
sir.
is it possible?
Sir, based on the date and total cases, based on the date and the total number of cases that were active on that particular date, we can determine whether it was growing or coming down or however.
Now, let me pause for a while and see how many questions we were able to form with. I mean, like, it will never stop. The questions keep on coming. A lot of interesting things keep on coming. This is possible when we did it as a teamwork. Yes or no? We were able to get a lot of questions from that particular data based out on teamwork. Now, when you start doing any kind of analysis on Excel, okay, or take a spreadsheet and start analyzing, means you'll get almost majority, close to 70% of answers, you will get it. That is what you form dashboards. Come right? That is what the basic of analysis is all about. See, can you see, like, we took it, the first thing we did is, did I show you only the data which is a complete data, or just only the column headers I showed you with one or two examples?
Column headers with examples.
But still, you have never seen the full picture of the data. Still, you were able to bring this much questions.
Sir,
yes.
Gender information.
We don't have gender information at this moment, no.
Okay.
The problem is, whether it is elections, you'll get data information like this only. Only the aggregated information most of the time you'll get it. But still, from that you can get a lot of interesting questions like this. Now what we need to do is start answering all the questions by just doing the filtering and everything on Excel. That I'll just show you on a different use case. The same technique you need to apply on the same data set and start seeing how many informations you can gather. Where I can use what type of chart for what type of chart. When you start assembling everything, you get a complete dashboard of all the information about COVID-19. Am I right? Just from how many data points we were having? We were only having around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or not even this. We'll keep it like this. From this data, whatever is the given data, we were able to find total country, total state, I mean, like country-wise, state-wise, district-wise, date-wise, total new case, total recover, total perish. So this is the first activity which you really need to carry out. That is, try to ask as much as questions possible. Don't directly see the data. Don't jump into the data and see whether you only need basic few information about what kind of data it will come, right? Like one example or two example. I didn't put 100 examples. I didn't put it out, right? I only gave this and how the data may look for that. So we were able to form as much as questions from that data. This is the beginning of analysis, because now you know exactly what are the things you are going to search in the data, correct? Else what will happen? You will randomly open up the data and say, what will be there? What can be there? I can just show you one example in real world, like I can say, okay, give me a second. Let me stop sharing and let me take the data. I'm finding a data which is pretty interesting one.
So meanwhile, one question.
Yes.
So don't we need to understand if we have a complete set of data, like the data which we have, we are missing age information, vaccination information, and like many more information which can help us to give a particular kind of analysis. But with this data or with these features which are available currently, we may get a particular inference kind of analysis, and which may be different from the actual scenario. So don't we need to first understand if we have a complete set of, not as in quantity, but complete information of data or anything, like whatever we want to analyze into?
That is true. That is where we need to do the data auditing. That is, that is secondary point which I'm giving, because majority of them have the problem in starting with, if I have complete data, what is next? That's where the question comes. So now I'll just show you something. And let me open it up and let me share a screen. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
This is the data which was powering that analysis for that weather pattern. Okay, this was the data. You can see I have state-wise information, district-wise information, and on 1901 January, 1901 1901 If I just go, next 100 years of data keeps coming in. Can you see this? So when you are given a data like this, and in this kind of situations, what kind of questions you may ask?
What
and I'm
is
giving a data set like this.
Temperature over time, sir? That is the first question that comes.
Did everyone understood this? We have a state-wise information. For every record, we have a state name, and we have a district. And this is 1901 January, 1901 February, 1901 March. When I just go at the end of it, I keep moving to the end, and I reach to a point where we have 2000. Can you see 2000? 10, 12, 1, 2002. You can see we have till 2002 December. We have this much information is there. And when you go scroll down also, you can see across all the district wise, all the state wise, you have information.
That's the temperature, sir?
Yeah, everything is temperature.
So over the period of time, what is the change in temperature over last 100 years?
You can do the trend analysis on this.
So what we can do is numbers. So my question is, like, right now I'm a travel. I'm a travel company, like Make My Trip or Clear. My intention is I want to find which are the ideal places on which time they are very ideal for tourists.
We can make heat maps, a heat map and correlation.
Find most. I want to find the most ideal
Seasonal.
locations during Jan that I can do. Find more. Next one is find most ideal location during February. Because I'm a travel agent and I have to run my business continuously throughout the years I want to run. I cannot only depend on a season and push them. I really need to see which are the time where I can really focus. Likewise, every month wise, I can see which are the very ideal places. Then I split it into north, south, east, west as 4 different groups, and then again come up with a new trend. So in this data, can we add a new feature like the zones?
Yes.
Can we add a new
Yes.
zone here?
Yes, sir.
Like whether it's north, south, east, west, like that, can we do it? Yeah. Can we differentiate which is a tourist spot and which is not a tourist spot?
Yes, based on the temperature.
Yes,
But
sir.
Yes. Livability.
Season to visit.
So generally we can just see what are the tourist spot and only mark them as 1. Wherever it is not there matching, it can be 0. It's not a tourist spot. And can we find which are the there are people who doesn't want to go to cool places. They always are afraid of getting very cold. So they want somewhere moderate climate needs to be there, right?
Can we also figure out seasons?
Yes, we cannot figure out seasons based out on month on month and in a year how many seasons come and go. So the
we can do the clustering. We can do the clustering like temperature wise.
We can do it. We can do a clustering model to see is there anything interesting we can find it out. And
places for architecture also, some people are interested in architectural places. Some people are only interested in architectural places, so segregation by that.
We can segregate by that. Okay.
Hilly area or a beach area, some people like only hilly area, some like only beach
Yeah,
area.
so we can create a new column called what type of terrain it is, like whether it is a hilly or it is a plain, and whether it is a desert, like that. Can we create a new column?
We can do that in a way, like some people want to go to the rural areas, like to see the natural beauty, and some wanted to go to the urban areas to have the club life and all these. So we can segregate the data in that way also.
Yeah, we can create a rural or urban or what person. Rather than blindly saying like from our own idea, like which are rural, which are urban, like that. Can we create it like based out on known factors from the Google? See, we may sit and create a data. We may be searching and we may be adding new column, and from that column we will be searching manually. Maybe this all the how many records are there here? You can see we have only how many records. See, for all the across all the around 577 are there. So yes, we can do it manually. Nothing wrong in it because it's a very interesting information which can power up a very interesting dashboard for the planners, whoever is a tourist planning, they can use that tool to just explore it. Next thing is like I said about terrain, rural and urban. How much person? Most people doesn't like cities. They want somewhere it should be like calm and quiet, just like me. So like that we can create new columns. Hello. Hello.
Final here we draw a scope.
Amount okay. So we can find such kind of information. Any other informations we can create?
We can also create like which are the places are not recommended in particular month. So
okay, yeah, basically it's very hard during very hot climates. We can put a threshold limit and filter it out. Okay, this is not
very hot or very cold. Like
which season we all have to ignore these places.
Yes.
Which season is considerable? Which is ideal
What's the
season?
best time to visit that place? We can mention.
So we can just go with the averages of the temperatures based on the seasonals actually.
Okay, averages were based on seasonal. We can go.
One new question that we found is that in which location or in which district the variation of temperature is the highest. Like the difference between the highest and the lowest temperature is highest. Oh, yeah, that's what we can form.
Yeah.
And since we have the data for past 100 years, we can also see the impact of global warming, pollution, and so on, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Also, sir, can we find out if we visit this place, probably this district, then you can cover another 3-4 surrounding districts to it. How many surrounding places we can cover by visiting this place? So can we determine?
Yes, we can do that. Not a problem. And even we can find a lot of place like what to say, state-wise, which time. I mean, like you can see the trend of things going up and down, where the seasons are very what to say, dictated seasons, which are not dictated seasons. That means like the modern day, you can see from that 1901 to 2002. You can see how there's significantly whether day by day the earth is becoming more hotter and hotter, right? It's becoming very tough time for anyone to live just like that, right? So can we identify how is I mean, like during 1901, the maximum we can take around 5 years. 5 years, 5 years we can split it and see during which 5 years again whether there is an upward trend of day by day due to global warming, our temperatures ranges are getting higher and higher. Can you find it? Just you saw that heat map where it was only showing you hot or cold. Can we see trend wise for take 5 years the variation of how much temperatures are changing on every 5-year basis? Like 5 year
effect of global warming.
Effect of global warming we can define. And for example, can we identify, if you rather than taking this entire state data or take one specific district data and see to it, like is it possible for us to understand, like they say global warming is really affecting, we can see state wise, okay, during 1901 the maximum temperature or mean temperature was this, but at this moment it is growing and higher and higher, right?
Sir, can we create like time series data, like time series chart?
Because you can take this one particular, for example, this place which is like Birbam. You can see this one is a time series only, right?
Yes.
Because its header is a time, which is having month-wise interval, and you can just plot it. So, for example, if you are taking this, and we can try to plot something.
From the time series chart, we can get the trend of like year wise. You're saying like 5 years and 10 years.
You can see here. See, I'm just plotting a simple time. You can see during this time, this is the highest temperature which is happening, which is very common across.
Yes.
And for that particular place, you can see initially it was like this, and it was okay, it was going. But you can see now the maximum, the very common thing is between this range. It's 31 to 33. Like it's the temperature. Got it? So you can play around with it and get a lot of interesting information. So what I'm trying to tell is, can you see now how many of them understood how to ask questions on a data, on a given data?
Yes, sir.
Right?
So I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
So in case where we don't have the seasons information available right here, so how can we try to map it? Because the data is very raw, we do not have the seasons information. So based on our experience and knowledge, we'll have to do, or we'll have to Google for everything, or we'll have to.
We can. There are lot of informations which are available in Google itself, like seasons information, or if you Google it, sometimes you may end up in a place where you will get all the data as a table, so that you can scrape the data. Excuse me. Ideally, what is recommended is when you want to source in data, your aim is not to write some script to capture all the data and bring it. You can get the help of anyone in your team to scrape it and give it to you in the format of CSV. But merging it is your own decision. You can use lookups to create and merge it. What I'm telling is, like, focus on that data, whatever you're having, and start collecting and adding new secondary data into it. So data science is 70% data preparation. 70% of time is data preparation. You can never skip that. You should very clearly know, yes, before analyzing, I should see whether for all my questions, I'm having data. If you're not having, start finding where you can get the data. And sometimes you won't believe, like there are people who manually fill it also, because they feel that's very important for me to analyze things. When you manually do it, you will get into the track of analyzing mentality. You will not get, feeling it's bored, because that data, whatever is created, that is the value of you. That's the value proposition. The most important commodity of your entire analysis will be the data which you created. That's where it is owned by you, which was created by you manually. So what I say is, now in this particular point, you have understood, like, okay, how to ask question. Yes.
Sir, can you kindly come back on the? Sir, can you kindly come back on the chart once again? I mean, what was the title of the chart? What is it all about?
I just very simple thing I did is, like, it's nothing fancy. I just picked only one district.
Okay.
Every record is one district, right?
Okay.
For example, like I'm randomly picking a district here. I'm not taking entire data. I'm just taking in Madhya Pradesh. There's a place called Ashok Nagar.
Any one at random, right?
Any one, I just picked it. Then I just went and I put a insert. You can see, you can even use
okay, I got you, sir.
Different types of, you can see here.
Okay.
So sir, regarding asking of questions, sir, so the questions that will be asked to the data is totally dependent on the perspective that we are analyzing the data from.
Correct.
So the same sheet that you showed, a travel agent or a travel company might analyze it from a different perspective than what an environmentalist would do.
Correct.
Hello.
So that is what? So the first thing, even before we ask questions, we need to understand what perspective.
What perspective? That's what I was telling from the beginning. You should know what is the audience you are trying to pitch in this one.
Right.
So if you are going, if someone who is an environmentalist, and if you're trying to go and pitch it from the point of a travel company, end of the day, it's not going to match. But if you're pitching it in the terms like, okay, these are the seasons which is good for this type of crop. These are the seasons which type of crop will be better. These are, for example, now we know, now the bigger, from the point of an agriculturist, keep it like this. Now I really wanted to know, okay, I can see India's pattern all across, which is running on the 100 years. But I really want to pick one location. In that location, I have to see a trend. Okay, basically, when you group it, when you see overall of India, min and max is taken from this entire data. We have to take the min and max of only one location and see how much its variation is happening, whether it is going upward trend, so that I can think for it's a people like in Madhya Pradesh, it's an agrarian place where a lot of people are dependent on agriculture. I can say, okay, people will say, if you go to a farmer and ask, like, what's your problem? Common thing is there is no rain, and we are not getting enough yield at all. The reason is they are purely following a thumb rule based cultivation. From beginning, they have that idea, okay, these are the seasons I can put this type of crop. These are the season I can put this. But when you really show them, okay, see, initially those time we were getting high yield because even though it was hot season, we were having water in the water table, I mean the ground water content. Now, day by day, when the temperature is rising, that's the reason these crops are not getting enough water. Even though you give supply water also, it's not getting enough water because the crops are not purely dependent only on that water what you supply, but the one which is there under the ground heat, right? So you can say, see, now during this condition, you can see there is, it's going, day by day, the temperature is going very higher here. So rather than putting this type of crop, take a crop which is not highly dependent on this type of groundwater more, and which can be managed with minimal water. So your yield can be increased. So selection of crop also can be done. You got my point? That's a problem. Generally, a crop which takes a lot of water, if you go and put it on a place where it's upward trend, the heat is significantly, last 100 years, you can see an exponential increase in the temperature. So ultimately, they won't get whatever they wanted, correct? They are ended up in a place where, okay, the main problem is they are not understanding that there is a significant trend of upwardness. Correct? So you can select crop from an agrarian point of view, when rain is coming, when rain will not come. So we have to plan it, and from a data-driven method, we have to select the crop. Okay. Now we can create algorithms or any methods. Okay, if these conditions are matching these type of this group category of crops, make high yield. End of the day, everyone will get happy when they get a yield is higher. But regularly, someone who is cultivating a paddy, which needs more water, and there's not going to be enough rainfall, ultimately he is going to be easily disappointed. Now from that point you can see. Now from a point of what to say, you won't believe, like some of the research organizations, I mean like big companies, FMCG companies, they keep it like ITC, Hindustan Lever and all these things. They have their own research place where they cultivate. For example, we were working with ITC, and ITC is having this, most of products, whatever is available by ITC, like your simple classmates, notebooks, those accessories, paper industry, they have FMCG, like all this Ashirvad data and all these things.
Hand
Next thing
washers.
is hand washers, Savlon, like all these things from ITC brand. So once I had a meeting with the CEO of ITC, and we were seeing like only Ashirvad Atta itself is giving the big bulk of profit for ITC. Got my point? The reason is, and moreover, we were looking into different things. There is multi-grain is there, multi-grain atta is there, there is whole grain atta is there, like the different varieties are there. When we did the analysis and see, majority of people in the north, they prefer for that whole wheat atta, and people in the south, they look for this ready-made, that very soft atta. Okay, and the thing is, like, we can see how people's choice are across the country, where it is highly selling, why it is selling. Likewise, we can ask different questions on a data to gather information. Did we apply any machine learning, deep learning techniques here till now? The most important thing is you should have data, good data. And second thing is you should be able to collect the secondary data. I mean the primary, I mean like the connectivity data, dependency data from different sources and collate it. Third thing, start asking questions. So when you form as a team, you should always have the habit of asking questions from the data. Now, don't you feel when we did that COVID-19 analysis, everyone is a domain expert? The reason is everyone got affected. Same way, if you get a data for a company perspective, you have to see what may be the right perspective to ask. Which is your audience? What is the type of question you can ask there? We were in COVID-19 cases, our main intention was to ask about how much rigorous it's becoming, and what are the interesting things we can find from that. Was our intention. So what I'm going to do is, now we have understood how to ask questions. Have anyone any questions for me before continuing?
Sir, hello.
Yes.
Can I target our customer who is that how many times he has visited the same place? So again and again with this data set.
How many times?
In the same place, how many times he wants to visit or she wants to visit.
Okay.
So this with the trend analysis, can we predict that, means can we target our customers or target our tourists that how many times he or she wants to visit this place? So
but,
we can.
what kind of data then we need? So what kind of data we need in such kind of situations?
So means our main perspective of that with that means state-wise, district-wise, we are going to analyze this trend, right? Or means getting that customer active to tourist planning or tourist wants to visit. That is the main purpose, or the district-wise or state-wise and the year-wise.
Yeah, that is from the point of a travel agent point of view.
Yes.
Because you want to know which are the ideal location for arranging a trip for, I mean, creating different packages. which are
So
the locations I can create.
travel agency wants to gives the offer to their clients, to their customers.
Yes, they put packages and they speak all these things. They cluster it and see what are the similar locations which are the nearest and which can be good ideal location without extreme hot or extreme cold locations. Most people like Himachal Pradesh, etc. Some people like Rajasthan and Gujarat. There are two different types of people. Can I find such kind of locations which I can target and create a package? So it's not going to end there. It's going to grow like anything. Even in the COVID-19 dataset, you can see a lot of information. A lot of interesting information, you can see it. So what I'm going to show is I'll just show you one example in industry point of view. See, how many of them have seen windmills? How many of them have seen windmills?
Yes, sir.
So I think everyone has seen a windmill, right?
Yes.
So normally, what is a wind farm? It's a collection of more number of windmills. A single windmill tower, right? That the wind turbine, whatever is there, na? This single one may cost around 2 to 3 crore. The bigger, largest one. In a wind farm, you will be having multiple, more than 200 and 250 windmills. I mean, like the fans will be there, turbines will be there. Now, what one use case which came into the picture is like, okay, all these things are located in a remote location. Most of the time, these are in the remote location, either inside a national park or tiger reserve and etc. These kinds of places only most of the time they keep these things. Now, if India's climate is seasonal, and wind is a season where there is a season where you will get high wind. Other season you will not get a wind that much higher than what. So when a company is investing around 250 separate wind turbines, which each cost 2 to 3 crore. Now, during that peak season where wind is high, I want all my fans to run properly, correct? I want all my fans to run properly, and every day either one fan will get into any kind of maintenance mode. That means suddenly some kind of breakdown happens, any one fan will go down, and because of that I may get a huge loss, because only India I can get enough energy during that season. During that season, immediately one fan is going down. It's very tough to go inside the park, which there are lots of leopards and all these things are there in those locations. So every time someone cannot be monitoring that like that. You have to remotely monitor, and based out on alerts, we should take decision. So we were just working with that one example. This is ideally what to say. Let me move this. Okay. Sure. Ideally, what will happen is there is a generator motor which is attached here. Now, when all this, what to say, this motor is the one which is running, ultimately these are bearings. How many of them have heard about bearing? What is a bearing? Have anyone seen what is a bearing? That means to make your mixie grinder.
Yes, sir.
Makes your
Spherical
mix.
grains.
Yeah, it will be like
With small balls.
yeah,
Small
the balls.
spherical grains.
It is just like a round, like what to say, thing which is used in everywhere. It's there. It's in your fan, your what to say, mixer grinders, your
It's
anything which
used
is
to
rotating.
reduce the friction.
Yes, it reduces the friction and make run faster. So in the windmill, there are 4 different bearings are there. One bearing is here, second bearing is here, third is here, fourth is here. Now, most of the time, what will happen is when the turbine gets into this maintenance mode, mainly because of if any one bearing fails. If any one bearing fails, immediately it will create lot of vibration. So what they did is like they will keep all the sensors in every single windmill. They will keep sensors which will detect the temperature data, which will detect the sound data, the vibration data, and it's keep on streaming and storing into a database. This is done. Now, whenever a bearing is failing, what will happen? If any machinery, because of too much friction or wear out, what will happen? this is
Like,
the
Temperature
become very hot.
of the temperature of thermocouple.
If the thermo, yes, because it's continuously rubbing on a surface which is steel to steel, and it becomes very hot. So you can see a significant variation in the temperature, correct?
Yes, sir. And so it may be possible that the lubrication between the bearings may be lost.
Yes, the lubrication between the bearings are lost. So you need your mechanics to go and immediately, put the grease or the oiling to make the bearings again back to the thing. So if you are leaving it just like that, it is going to become hot and hot because it's keep on running, right? And ultimately it becomes very hot, and suddenly a balls will start. The entire bearing will get damaged. Before everyone see what is a bearing, I will show them what is a bearing. Most people don't know what is a bearing. This is what is a bearing. Outer it will be there, inside also one will be there. The inside will be rotating. In the middle of that, there balls are there to keep the friction less. This is what is a bearing. But in a windmill and all, there are bearings which are very costly, and they really need to take care of it very well. Else, it is very much going to create a big mess. So, number one, temperature will be higher. Second one is the vibration sound will be more because it start beating. I think most of people could have experienced in your own home itself when you are buying a fan in your home. Ultimately, after one point of time, your fan will become very much soundy. Like it starts making some noise. Like this, it will make. How many of them have heard about?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
After one particular time, whatever happens is like you can see there will be a lot of sounds coming, or else even mixer grinder, which initially will be very normal in sound. Suddenly it started to make some kind of strange sound, like very rude sound it started making. In your cars, maybe for a long time when you're driving your car, suddenly one point of time you can see somewhere in your tires there is some sounds are coming. It's mainly because if this bearing needs to be every time lubricated to make it very smooth to run. So these bearings, bearing number 1, bearing number 2, 3 and 4, all the 4 has a sensor attached to it. So near to it a sensor attached to capture the temperature and the heat, like temperature, sound, vibration, all these things. Now, based out on this, can we predict before a bearing is going to fail, can we predict it? So we were just taking the data from all the bearings. So there are 4 different data coming from a bearings vibration. Exactly, I'm having a column which is having time. Time stamp, and another one is bearing number 1, bearing number 2, 3, like this. I'll show you how it will be. The data will comes like this. Again, this is 150, and this is date. And this is bearing 1 temperature or like a vibration. Post it here. I'll change it to like this. Data will be coming. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Like this, we will get a date timestamp, like maybe like 12th Jan 2021, and the hours is we are getting it's 8 p.m. and it's seconds. Keep it like 30 seconds. Like this, you'll get a timestamp. Data will be there. Okay. Then we'll be having data like a random between. Sorry. Between. Keep it like 0 to 100. Like this, we are getting a bearing number 1, and we get for all the bearings. Can you see this data? The data will be coming like this every timestamp, every interval of every 5 minutes. It starts sending the data. like this bearing number date will be there, a timestamp will be there, and all the 4 bearings readings will be pushing to the server like this. One by one, we will be getting the data like this. Now, if you start plotting it like this, you can see what we were looking as, like all the bearings, all the 4 bearings, to differentiate them uniquely, we have color coded them. All 4 was perfectly working fine till from this point, the starting, and the vibration level was very much below the 0, 0 and 0.1. Slowly it is going. At one particular point, you can see bearing number 1 slowly got increase in the vibration. Can you see that? This blue line. And slowly, day by day, it's again increasing, and it's going beyond the vibration of the other 2 one, like the bearing number 2 and bearing number 3. At one, or exactly on this particular date, you can see the bearing suddenly start making big noise, and it started to increase and slowly decline. Again, suddenly it came down, and suddenly it starts increasing. Now it's like a cycle, it's happening on an interval, and suddenly on one particular time, the bearing started to make more and more noise, bearing number 1, and it went to a higher noise, and it reaches to a point, and suddenly it breaks down here. Now you can see with this bearing number 1, exactly when the bearing number 1 is exactly breaking at this point, the other 2 bearings are also starting to make more noise. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
you can see there's an increase.
Yes, sir.
Suddenly you can see the bearing
Yes,
number
sir.
4 also start to make more noise, because when you really see the position of the bearings, whatever is being kept here, when the first one breaks, all 4 needs to be very much aligned in order to make a smooth rotation. When the first one breaks, this whatever this rod which is there in the middle, it starts shaking. Correct? When the first one breaks, it starts shaking. So that shake will create more damage to the second bearing and third bearing, and ultimately the fourth bearing. So if I'm able to identify there is a failure going to happen at the initial itself, I can save all other bearings also. I can also, I can switch on, I mean, like I can shut down the system first, and I can completely change the bearing. Yes or no? Right,
sir.
So can you see,
Right, sir.
whenever, if there is a mechanism, whenever there is the averages are always same across the time, right? It's every consistent. How we will calculate, is there a trend? Because we will see every window, like we use a window. I mean, like from this, every one day I'll check what is the average speed. In this particular thing, you can see suddenly the averages are changing. So if I'm able to understand if the averages are changing first, whether it's upward, I can immediately notify with a message to, I mean, like if there is a system which I create, if there is a threshold level beyond this, if the temperature, if the vibrations are increasing, if it can alert the, I mean, like the company that there is something going wrong, something happening wrong on this turbine number 1, I can send my mechanic to get into, he will go specifically there and replace the bearing. Now you can see when you deeply analyze, a healthy state of bearing will always have a pattern like this. It will be very consistent. When a faulty state, you can see bearings will have a very irregular intervals which will come. Now when you look for all the 4 bearings, you can see this is faulty state. All other bearings are getting more and more vibration during that particular time, because this first one is failing. So this can really save a lot of money and resource if we are able to predict if there is any kind of abnormality happening at one particular point in time, if it is notifying us, and if we are able to predict whether what will be based out on all the inputs, if the bearing is going to fail or not. If we are able to predict, we can save a lot of money, and ultimately we can save the entire system getting collapsed. So here what you're seeing is a data from a different perspective. You have a lot of different use cases where you can really make the data very much interesting too. Sorry, what is happening? I can't open. Correct. So whenever you're working on any data, you should see what is the type of problem you can solve from that. Correct? You really need to know what type of problem you can solve, what is the data it's available, and how you can solve it. Now, after the break, I'm going to take a data set and how to ask the questions we have understood it. How to explore the data using a spreadsheet. What are the best, easiest way we can analyze the data and bring the charts, everything, and create a story from that. That's the thing which we will be looking into. So what time is the break?
Already 11:26, sir.
So
Okay.
you can give it now for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and then let's take a break for 15 minutes and come back. Fine?
So this is Gunjan here.
Yeah.
Just wanted to take one quick question.
Yes, Gunjan.
I understand that, like you said, 70% of data exploration is required, and we have to get into domain. But when we work on the consulting, generally to get billable, we don't get the field which we have already expertise into it, or we have already explored into it. Sometimes to remain billable, we have to venture into the field which we have not explored. And like you said, the data analysis or exploration into this kind of a job is very challenging, and we have to be into the multiple projects. So the question is like, how would you approach if we are totally new to the domain, domain?
See, normally what will happen is, if we are working with any domain, ultimately we are a data exploration person. Normally the companies which come for any kind of consulting, they will be having a point of contact, a person who has domain knowledge about it. He will be a part of that data science team. A data consultant will be there, a data scientist will be there, a data engineer will be there, and a person who is having domain knowledge person also will be there. As a team only, will start solving the problem, not all alone. So we generally request a person who knows the domain very well, and they will be working closely with the data science team as one of their working consultant, and from them only a lot of information comes, and based out on the meetings and discussion, we understand everything about the data points. Then we start exploring things. Got my point?
Yeah, fair enough, sir. But any approach or any particular framework?
No, basically for domain knowledge, you definitely need to either get it your own, or you can get it from the company itself. You can definitely ask them. Definitely they will be there, someone who will be doing these things, but not in a complete level, but they will be knowing the domain very well. So you can take the help from them.
So most of the time there are technical contacts for those things.
I didn't get you.
Most of the time when we work on such project, we have a technical contact for handling
Yes,
those.
yes, there is a person who will be allocated, definitely. Because blindly we cannot start, right? We need a starting point, someone with a domain skill. Yeah. So let's take a quick break and come back in next 15 minutes. And let's start exploring a data.
Okay, so sir, before we go into the break, one last request to you, sir. Once we come back from the break, I mean, the last slide which you had shown was probably on the fit of the training data. Since we know that in a given set of data, there are three parts. We divide into three parts. One is the training set, one is the validation, and the test data. So, sir, once we come back from the break, can you just show that the part which you showed is for the training fit, and the remaining two part, whether we can fit it into the model to get the test data and the the validation part?
See, that particular model's data I'm not having in this system. It's in totally different. So I can show the slide and let's go through that.
Yeah. Fair enough, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Then. So everyone back?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now let's get our hands dirty. That's actually, rather than learning data science, let's start exploring some very interesting thing. So whatever I'm going to teach you now, I will give you the file also, which you can play around with it, with an assumption that everyone's have Excel, Microsoft Excel installed on your system. Okay, that's the most basic tool which I regularly use. You take any data scientist, they will start their work always with the Excel only. They don't directly start with any tool like Python R and all these things. First thing is, we will see a use case which we were discussing last time also. So I'm having a data set, okay, which is a pretty good data set, which is always used by majority of any analyst as a beginning point. Okay, so why we are taking is because we have a lot of things we can explore from that. It's very simple. The same incident about Titanic, right? We have a Titanic data set, which is having enough information about the passengers and everything we are having, but it's a very good quality data set to do any kind of analysis for a beginner. Whatever we are going to do in that, that's what you're going to replicate in any other use cases, whether it's sales or marketing or education, any domain you're going to use the same techniques you will be using it. We won't be using any machine learning and all these things at this moment. Let's keep it very simple and I just want to enable everyone, whatever questions we have created morning, such kind of questions, you should be able to answer it with a very minimal tool like a spreadsheet. After that, I will show you how easy it is to build a machine learning model using some of the existing technologies, which I'll be showing you very easily. Then you will understand, as a data scientist, you don't need a programming knowledge at all. You can only need spreadsheet knowledge. Whenever you want to build a model, you can use some of the AutoML tools, which are already built. One tool which I'm going to cover you at the end of the session. So everyone ready? Okay, great. So let me share my screen. Where is the share button? Okay. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So unable to hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, just got a call. Yeah. So can everyone see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What this is a data set which was it's a cliche in the area of statistics and machine learning point. It's a very well-known data set with anyone, but let's first audit the data set. Correct. Let's first see what are the things available, what are the things we can find it from that. So yeah, like morning, like what are the things we can ask in this data set?
Average fare, highest fare.
Gender and
Female.
gender and age of the
Mhm.
passengers.
Mhm.
Passengers.
What is the
Age,
class they are traveling in.
Mhm.
and
Gender-wise
So
survival
like who
and
all
and
were
in
there
which
in a specific
in
cabin or
in which
something like that?
like in which cabin passengers are most.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And since
And
this
the
is a
survival rate.
since this is a survival something, so it seems like something from Titanic or something of that sort.
Yeah, this is a Titanic data set only.
Passenger ID, it is an identifier. We can neglect it.
Correct. Okay.
So the
Good.
age
Survived based on gender and age.
survival rate based on sex and age.
Okay. Now we can see there is a column called survived,
Right.
0 and 1.
Correct.
Right. Really, that will never make a sense for me, because like I, as a statistical point right now, I'm not going to build a model. If I'm building a model, I'll just leave it like 0 and 1. 0 means not survived, perished, one means survived, right? So first thing I need to do is like, okay, I want to passenger ID. Yes, it's okay. It's an identifier. The next one is the survived. So I really need to convert all the zeros and ones into perished on survived, correct? We want to do that. So what we'll do is like, we'll create a new column called new survive. Well, because in this new survival, I will put like if, okay, if this survived column value is equal to 0, then is perished. Else is survived. Okay. Now what happened? We got a new column which is having people who perished, who has survived.
Right.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Interesting, because for analysis we need to know, rather than 0 and 1, we need to first figure it out. Okay, great. Then there are other aspects. Let's keep it aside for a while. These tickets, fare, and all these things, we can keep it away. But my main target is I really want to see the survival pattern, because Titanic was an incident where a lot of people died, a lot of people survived. My goal is from that point. I want to see how is the survival, in how people are grouped, and which type of people survive, which type of people didn't survive, what may be the reason. These are some of the questions which I commonly will be having. So that's the reason I converted first the survived column from 0 and 1 into a proper encoding, where you will understand, okay, whether they survived or not survived. Okay, so whoever has survived, they are having a survived detail here. Like whoever has perished, it's having perished. That's very simple if condition I have put, right? If the survived column it's easy 0, then it's perished. Else it is survived. I hope everyone understood this logic. In Excel, we can do this very clearly. Great. Now I can see, okay, survived is there. Then there is something called P class. That means passenger class.
Excel 2019, sir.
Pardon?
Is this Excel 2019?
Yes, this is Excel 2019. No, I think it's 16. Let me look into it. It's the 16th version. 2019. Fine. Now we can see I have passenger ID, which is an identifier. I have survived column. Right now I have got a new column called new survival. That is more interesting. There is something called P class. So class, first class, second class, third class, right? We are having only unique value. If I'm just going and clicking here, I can see there are only 3 different unique values there. Either 1, either 2, or either 3. Correct? This one also as a new class. Let me go there. Let me create like new P class. Okay. Now let me put a condition. If, let me go and catch this P class. This one, P class equal to 1. This is first class. And again, sorry. Ifs, I'll use ifs condition. If it's the P class, that I'm referring to that particular absolute cell here using P class equal to 1, then it's first. Then again, if P class equal to 2, it is second class. And again I'm using P class. I'm referring to that column. Okay. If that is equal to 3, then I'm going to put it's a third class. Fair. Now I can see if I come down, I get all the first class, second class, third class information like this, like that. Can you see? So whenever there is a 3, it's encoded as 3. When someone is traveling in first class, I'm encoding it as first class. Okay. Now this is a way of creating or cleaning a data for analysis purpose. You need to know like what does this representation means and what can be. You can see that a lot of information. We have a name information that like there is something called gender. In that there are only 2 different types, male and female, correct? And age group, you can see there are different age groups. These are months also. The kids who got like that, we are having from 0.42 to around 80. And there are a lot of blanks are also there. Missing values. They are called missing values. Let's understand how these things. Then age column is there. Then the cab in which they traveled, and whether they where they were embarked. I mean, like in which position they were being given the seats. Like that, we have enough information. Now, what we need to do is let's do some descriptive analysis on this data. So first and foremost thing, we need to know what is this data quality, right? We have to do some level of a descriptive analysis. So what we do is we come to here. I can come here. Then I will go to data option, and there is an option called data analysis here. In Windows also, you will be having it. You can go and enable it. You click data analysis. Which type of thing? See, you can see there is ANOVA, is there ANOVA two-way ANOVA is there, or correlation is there, covariance is descriptive statistics. So I want this descriptive statistics. So I click this and give OK. Now let me first see the survival column. I'm selecting the survival column, and I want to get the summary statistics. Label in the first row, I'm taking it. I want the output to be in the same file here. So I'll select this. I'll click it. I'll come and select this. Open it. And OK. I'll give OK. Now what happens is the summary is being calculated. Can you see this? Can everyone see this? What's happening here?
Yes,
for that
yes,
survival
yes,
column, I got some summaries, some descriptive summary. This is what is more important. Now we can see the mean you have like this, and the standard error is there. Very common thing is zeros. That means people who didn't survive. Standard deviation and how much it's skewed, what is the range, what is the minimum value, maximum value we have, sum of it, total count. So we have around 891 are there. So 891 people are there. That's the total count. So this is a categorical variable. Am I right? Is it a categorical variable or not? Survived is a categorical variable or
yes,
not?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's a categorical variable.
Yes, we
That's
can
the
take it
reason.
binomial
we
also,
get-
yes or no?
Yes.
It's a binomial.
Yeah, binary.
Zero or one.
Binary. You can keep it binary. Now, I want to investigate on age. So again, I go to data analysis. I select summary statistics, descriptive statistics. Then I'm going to select the age column, wherever it is. This column, I want to select it. Sorry, I want to select this. Remove this. I want to select the age column from here. Okay, and label in first, and I want the output to be somewhere here. Click it and give an OK. There's a problem with this formula. Okay, I think I made some mistake here. So rather than picking like this, I'll put here. Open it up. Okay. Now, yes. Now this is a descriptive summary of age. Correct. Now, what we can see is the mean age is 29.6. So we can say randomly anyone, majority of people who traveled in Titanic was of the age group. Majority of people are in the range of 29, 28, 29, 30. That age
Close to 30.
group.
Yeah.
Close to 30. And the median values you can see 28. 28 is a very common thing. And most repeated, I mean, like most repeated number of people are age of 24. And you can see the minimum age is 0.42. That's mentioned in total months, and not months. It's and next thing is maximum age is 80. Let's keep it like pretty much simple in that way. And total number of count is 714. Now you can see, understand, total survival is 89, but here the total count is 714. So how many fields are missing? 171 missing values are there in age. Correct?
Right, sir.
Correct.
Yes. So we have seen age also and see what is the standard deviation, how much is the range it's coming, all this information. These are descriptive summary about the data. So to understand like how that particular variable is ranging and how their distributions are, like that you are looking. Then after that, what we do, we just go a little more and see the fare. What's the fare? So here again, I go here, I click the data analysis, descriptive statistics. I come to this particular point and I select the fare as the column. I want the outcome to be in a place like this. I'll give okay. Okay, now you can see the fare of the mean fare of this entire thing is like 32.204, and minimum fare was 0 and maximum fare was 512, maybe $10 can be. So here also you can say 891, 891. There is no missing value in this. I mean, like total counters are there, and there is no missing values in the fare section. You can see there is no missing value. Only in age section there is some missing value here. But now it's fine. So whenever we are just doing something like any kind of analysis, when you get a name like this, can we extract anyone information from this name? Name is just it can be anything, right? Can we extract any information from this
First
name
name
column?
and last name.
No. It's a nominal variable only.
No, sir.
Are you sure?
Maybe from the surname
Yeah,
we
we
can
can
prove if they
extract
are
the
from the
last
one
Yeah,
family.
we can gender. We can assume the gender only.
So we
Okay.
can also
Gender
get the
is
data
fine.
in case if they have a like somebody's a doctor or somebody's like specialist in this
Correct.
field
So
or captain,
you can
sailor.
say name attributes. Well, from name we'll put it something. So we will put like their keep it like their not surname.
name.
We can keep it like
New name.
new name. Okay, correct. New name I'm putting. Now I can see I want to extract all this Mr., Mrs., Miss, and next thing is when you go, so there will be doctor, and like that, lot of interesting things may be there. So let's go down and see what it is. Yeah, in Excel there is very interesting function method where you can just click here. I'm putting Mr., Mrs. Only some 4 to 5 columns I'm directly filling. Some like this I'm clicking. Now I select these things and I come to this data tab. There is something called a flash fill. If you click this, look at the data next to your selection, you see a pattern of filling. Okay, let's remove this dot. We'll put Mr., Mrs. Mr., Mrs., and Mr. Or even I did it. No need. I'm selecting this and I'm just going to select these things and do a flash. It is going to enter a couple of examples of the output you like to see. Keep the active cell in the column you want to fill in. I really forgot.
The third record is, I think, Miss and not Mrs.
Yes, it's correct. I'm sorry. MISS. Then if you go into a flash, no. Give me a second. I have, let's check it out. Yeah. So here I need to do a flash. Correct. Sorry. It was a very simple thing. Yeah.
So you are not
So,
sharing your screen.
Yeah. Can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I have just taken this column, right? Like these things, Mr., Mrs. and everything. I have just put here. Okay. Few manually. I'm coming to click the last one and I click this flash fill. When I click flash fill, can you see this? Can everyone see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yes, sir.
You can see from that we have extracted a lot of information. You can see there is like captain, colonel, don, doctor, jockney. So these things are not needed. There I can go and manually fix it. Let me go down and see if this is something which is not regular. I don't want that to be taken because everything I got it, Miss, Mr., Mrs. and so can you identify whether they're married or not?
Yes. So Mrs. and Miss.
Yes, sir.
Only the female.
So there is few doctors are there.
Yeah, doctors are there. Mr., Master, Miss, all these things.
They
You
are
can
also
see
there.
Doctor, Miss is there, Master is there, and we can again see a lot of things like Doctor is there. Next, Master is there, and let's go to down. So Major is there. There's a Major, and Mrs. So this one I can directly go and correct it. Like it's only Mrs. It's not something else. So that's fine. Mrs. Let's go down to see if there is any. This is John Keir. So where is this John Keir comes? It comes exactly here. So basically we can consider it as some kind of, it's a kind of surname. I don't know what this means. So let's put this as Mr. Fine. So like this, you can manually correct a couple of things which is not right. So here also you can say they have put something like this should be a Mrs. I can correct it as Mrs. And here it is like MMR, MNS. You can see fuel is there. What is this fuel? What I can see here, this is a Mrs.
Sir, we missed how this formula was run.
See, this formula is very simple. What I did.
Line number 88.
What I did means I'll tell you. For example.
It's just a flash fill, right?
Now, what?
It is through flash fill, right?
Yeah, it's called flash fill. So what we did is very simple. Now, for example, I just took these things. Now from this, I want to this perished and surprise. I just want the first letter to it. So I'm going to create something like a new, survival. And I'm putting, I want the first two values, PE, second one, SU. You got my points? Like that, I'm just setting a pattern. And after setting a pattern, I'm coming to the last cell and I click flash fill. Can you see this now?
Yes.
Do you understand how to do this?
Sir, if there's no option in my Excel.
No, it will be there in the latest. I mean, like anything after 2016 has all these options available. Okay. Now the good thing is, see, you can do a lot of things from this. And right now I can directly go and I can see what are the CF. I can only unselect everything first. I'll unselect everything and I will only select F miss. Then I can go and modify that as, okay, it cannot be F miss, it can be miss. This also can be miss. Great. Now again, I click this, I again unselect all and I go to this F and I can replace this as miss. So some manual correction we need to do. Got my point, everyone?
Yes.
This one I'm selecting.
Yes.
Then I can come here. I can remove this F comma miss. F. I'm removing it. Now again I go that what is this FP? FP is nothing relevant. So this is also F miss only. MISS.
We can use replace function also.
Yeah, you can do it, not a problem. But I'm just showing a lot of people, they will be just, this is MISS. Because replace you have to do very carefully. You cannot blindly do that. FE miss. This also I can remove it. So the data cleaning is the most important part you have to learn. So FEG miss, I don't want this one, I don't want this one, and FISS. These are all things I don't want it. I want to make it into one thing rather than FRS. No need. Can be there. This is miss. And M, lady, T, MR, MA, MA ref, master MA. This is something different. MC doctor, MD. So likewise, a lot of things are there. You can go and manually replace those things. But let's keep it. It will take some more time because it's a process where you have to be a little patient enough to do that. But let's keep it at this moment like this. Now, you know that like we have survived column, we have a P class column, name column we have sex, age, and other fields are also there. Now let's start seeing some of the interesting things from this. So what I will do is I'll just click anywhere in this cell and I go to insert. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now there is an option called pivot table. I'll just click this recommended pivot table. Immediately it will open up a new place and remove everything just not needed. So I got you can see the sheet number 1 is here and the sheet number 2 is here. Now I can pick this survived column. So we'll take the new survival column, okay, and put it as a row. When I put it, what are the options we get it?
Agent gender.
We have selected, see rows, we in the pivot table, we have selected rows as the survival column, new survival. In that we have perished and non-perished. Now, I can again copy this, carry this and put it into values.
Yes.
And also I can put it into columns.
Right.
Now, rather than count, I can go here and I want to see the data as show data as percentage of row total. Okay.
Grand total.
Yes, it's going 100%. It should not be that.
Percentage of grand total.
Got it. So now what happens? In this given data, we have total number of people who survived and non-survived. 61% of 61.62% was perished. 38.38% got survived. So grand total is 100. Now I can even see, I want to see in this data, where is the gender? Is there a gender column somewhere? Yeah. I'm putting it as a new row. So what we are understanding, can anyone say what is happening here?
Out of this 9.09 males perished and 52.53 males perished.
People who got survived, 26.15% of female got survived and 12.23% of male got survived. And in the perished, you can see females were less and males were very high. Good information. Now again, I click this and I go and say the P class, I'll take the P class and I'll put it here. Now we got again some more detail, right?
Right.
You can see people who normally traveled in first class, they didn't die. Okay. People who travel, I mean, if it is male, yes, you can see females who traveled in the first class, survival is, I mean, like no one died. Most of people, only 0.34%, but majority, 8.64% of male died, right? And here also people who traveled even in the second class, also females who were not highly perished. Third class, yes, the reason is it's a bottom of the ship, but still comparing to the males 33.67% of people died in the last third class, but still in that the females died only 8.8%. When you go to the survival, you can see first class 10.21, second class 7.86, third class it's 8.8, and males are highly very less in the survival. Can you see that pattern here?
Yes.
Can everyone see the pattern here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
I'll put it as a column. Can you see this now? How we are able to understand? See, in perished, there are like taking first class, second class, third class. You can see females were very less, but the males are high. But when you go to the survival column, you can see females have the higher number of survival than the males. Correct?
Sir, I just have a query. Is it not good enough to put the actual numbers along with this percentage as well? Because
Percentages is pretty much easy to understand because we are not looking in the numbers, we are looking in the patterns. Right? So it's better to use it's choice of yours. I normally prefer for the percentage.
I mean, what if the number of males traveling to first class is different from the number of traveling in the third class?
It will be there. Like let's explore and see, and let's see where we'll reach. Fine. Right now, you can see a data which is pretty much giving you some idea about the distribution. Okay, even though if it is a woman who was in the like the third class, second class, first class high survival, second class yes better, third class also up to some level 50-50 kind of chance, like survival is high for females, but males are the one who got more they are the one who really have very least survival comparing to the females. Now we can see here, yes.
Sir, in the perished thing, you can see that the first class was least, second was after that, and third was above that. Whereas in survived, first, third, and second is the sequence. That is a little surprising.
Yeah. So you just can think about it. I'm just waiting for your answers. Like you can look into it and see what are the interesting things what you find here. Likewise.
So just one question.
Yes.
Like when we are putting this percentage over here from the value grid, how did you select that? Because when I select, it never comes as a percentage.
No, it's I manually went and did that. No? So here I just went there.
Okay.
I went to, for example, when I'm just selecting anything here, I can directly go to that data, like this field settings will be there. And here I can select.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So now you can see if I go here and I start plotting a simple color coding like this. For this one, I'll go with the simple color code of the condition formatting. I'm putting a color with like this. Now, can you understand the patterns? You can see perished or like people who got perished. Here it is very less and it's very high. So let's change the color code from green to red rather than red to green. Because in survival, how many people survived? less people survived here. So you can see here, like, sorry, perished should be red. Yeah, this is very less number of females died comparing to the males, because 33.67% of males who were traveling in the third class died, and only 8.08% of females died on the third class. And on the second class, you can see 10.21 males died, but still the number of females are very less in the second class. And even in the upper class, the first class, you can see 8.64% of male died and 0.34% female died. The reason is very simple. The lifeboats were in the top floor. So people and moreover, when the ship was sinking down on the ocean, it is layered, right? Like ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. So within hours it was going. So first there were enough time for the people who were in the upper cabins, I mean like upper deck, to take a decision and go forward. Now you can see here, like we got few interesting examples here. Even you can again remove it and see. I can even remove this and see. I can play around with the different patterns.
Here, Pallav
Yes.
here. Sir, maybe there was a decision by, I would say, a decision maker who was asking people to take the lifeboats. Would be
yes,
preferred the females, maybe with children,
yes,
or maybe with the
females with the kids.
Those are very rich, right?
Yes.
So it's like there is a biased decision also, right? Which has
Basically during that incident they gave lifeboats for women who were carrying a kid. So let's see how it is. Now let me take the new survival. Like I'll put it as a column here, and I will take our 6 as the rows. Now I will just take this number of survival. This one I will take it and I'll put it here. You can see I'll change it to count of it. You can see total number of females like this. Now I'm going to take one more field here and put it here. I can see a very big age which is coming, like it's not a normal thing to do things. So I can directly go into one level of method. That is, I will take the age here. I'll put it here. Now, this age I will go and group it. And I will keep the width as 5. And I will click OK. Now I can see there are different age group bins have been created. Now for this, I will keep the new survival as the columns, and this new survival as the count. Now I'll go to this settings, show the data as total percentage. Good. Now you can see here 70% wherever the blank is coming, they are like, you can see that it's like they are not survived. Blank means the age is missing. And here, sorry, I'll take it here. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can directly go and plot a pivot chart. Let me move these things. So if I'm selecting on the pivot table completely, I'll go to the insert.
You have to go in the pivot table analysis tab. There it is available. Pivot table analysis tab.
It's here. Yeah. Yeah. Here it is. Sorry. Now, I want a chart. I can see here. I'm just taking this, coming to this point. And rather than this, I should get to change the chart type. I want a static chart. Can everyone see this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
before doing
That part.
this, I will do one thing. Before doing this, one small thing I'll do. I don't want to convert percentage. Let me take this and go to the pivot insert, pivot chart. I got like this. I want to change the chart type to a stack bar. Good. Can everyone see this? Now you can see that you can see the orange is the one who survived and the blue is the one who's perished. So you can see when you can see consistently here all these places. People who perished are very high in this age group between 15 to 20 and 20 to, you can see because the blue is very bigger than the survived here. You can see consistently whenever around 70% of each graph, you can see people who got survival is very less. I mean, like you can see there is very less number of survival. Now we can even go and play around with it in different ways. So I can go and insert something called a slicer. I want to slice based out on survived and X, age, and the new survival. I wanted a new survival class and click OK. Now I got few slicers here. Can everyone see the slicers?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the data, I just want to see how is the females who got survived. You can see here in every single age group, females have high survival. Can you see this? The orange is very high. People, and I'm just going to male now. Now you can see in male, number of perish are higher, but except on this age group, the babies.
Right.
Got the point?
Yes.
But
Yes,
here
sir.
you can see when I'm clicking females, there also this age group, the survival is very high. And in blank also, the survival is very high. So you can really see, if I'm comparing with male, it's totally changing. Every majority, 70% of male in every single class has died, except this. So this blank can be somewhere which is an age group which was belonging to this. Can you understand the point? Blank means it's a missing value, but still it's giving an idea. Now I can see if I go female and I just see this age group, you can see high number of survival, less people perished, females. Second, you can see. Third, wherever you see, it's different. But if it is a male, you can see number of person perished are very high. Can everyone see this pattern?
Yes, sir.
Visible, sir.
Okay. Now I'm selecting everything. I'll keep everything selected. From here to here, I'll get selected. Now I can see all the data. I just got it, which clearly shows that females and kids were given the preference, right? Whether it is male also, here you can see only on that age group, people survived, kids survived are higher. So what the assumptions are, we know in every single class, females were given preferences, correct? In every single class, females were given preferences. And you can see the kids are also the one which were given preferences. When we are seeing whether it's a male kid or female kid, still the survival is very high. And majority of people, women survived high. So can't you see, without building a model, we can understand some interesting aspects about the data?
Also,
Right?
some older generations were like above 60, everybody perished. Nobody survived.
Yes, you can see above 60 number of people. Now again, you can add one more slicer also. Like we can add a new slicer, which can be, let me move this little. I can see in class wise, first class, females. Females in first, can you see? Females who traveled in first class, close to 99%, 90% of people survived across all the age group. Got it? Then second class. Still, majority of people survive. Only on third class you can see females. Majority survive, but still there is a lot of people perished. Can anyone say that what is the phenomena behind this?
So the rich females were given preference.
The cabins, they were there, maybe the levels, they were there, first class, second class, and third class.
Sir, it's a survival protocol or a safety protocol, which is whenever there is an any disaster, child and female need to be carried out first.
Correct. So the thing here is, it's not biased like that. Very simple thing is, first class passengers are given in the top cabin, correct? The
So the
topmost
water pressure.
Layout of the plane, sir. Gate also, sir.
Safety measures were better in the first class than the third class, probably.
Very simple aspect. You see, in the first class, you just compare. You just see a ship.
Layout of the plane.
Let me shake a Titanic.
The accessibility of lifeboats were there with the first class, closer to proximity. Yeah, so that's the reason they survived.
See, a ship like this, okay? You consider like a ship like this, okay? Let's take like this. See, majority of people who will be traveling with the third class ticket will be in the bottom space, correct? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And the lifeboats, can you see here? Fortunately, Titanic ships was not this much bigger storage. It was like this. So the lifeboats were very much close to the first floor and second floor, not the one who is in the below. Another point. And whenever the ship was going deep, first the bottom layer get fully water entered, correct? Next, the second layer, the water will get entered. Next, the third layer. So the thing is, like, the one who is very closely exposed to water is the one who is in the third class. Then second class, then the first class. Excuse me. Give me a second. See, COVID is not a problem. After COVID is the problem. That's what I frequently get cough when I continuously speak. So you can see here very clearly that the ship's base bottom place was the third. That's the reason you can see here in this. I'm selecting only the third class. You can see majority, even though in third class majority of females survived, but still there is a lot of people who didn't survive. In second class, now the water has reached the upper level. By the time it's reaching, all the women's and men's, all they will run to the upper, right? Everyone will run, because in the bottom we don't have that much time to go up. But in the second class, they will directly go to the first class, so that you can see majority of females survived, except a few which is in this age group. Okay. Here also there is one problem. You know, people who are older, they will take time to reach upper. So she can be an older woman who is in the age of 52 to 60. Got a point? Now, when you go to the first class, you can see majority of people, all the women survived. Am I right? Now, let's see the same thing for the males in the third class. See, the males are very innocent in this phase. See, majority of males died in the third class. And you can see very less survival, which is only 9 people got on this age group. And in the kids, 5 people and 8 perished. Now, if I go one step ahead to the second floor, yeah, at least some level of people. You can see here very strongly kids were survived. All the kids have been survived. And you can see here, other time, all these people have perished. Now go to the first class. Now you can see here. Again here, people of this age group survived and people of this age group survived, but these everyone perished. Can you see, are we using any very big tool to explore these things? How many of them have used all these things to explore things?
Yes, sir.
Yes, a sort of.
I
Sort of.
Excel have used, but not slicer. Yeah, for sure. First.
But how is this slicer and everything?
Yeah, it was good, sir. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
See, there are a lot
Something
of
new, sir.
things are there which is there in front of our eyes, but we are always fascinated about the buzzword world, which is always about all big things. When
Sir,
you go,
if you don't mind, can you please show once again how to create the slicer part?
I'll delete this, I'll delete this, I'll delete this, and I'll delete this. I've created a pivot table, right?
Right.
And I created a chart also. I really don't like always this chart's background frills. It's not pleasing. And yeah, you can see the chart has been created, correct? This is a pivot chart. I went to insert. There is an option here called slicers.
Okay.
Click it. What are the things you want to slice? I want to slice based out on name, and I want to see based out on the new names and the new class they went, and I want to see
Survival.
age. Okay, if I give it all the slices, I got it, right? So let's keep this little this side, and let's keep all the slices aligned. Like this, we'll keep the slices aligned. Now, females. I got it. Doctors. Yeah, most of female doctors perished. Male on this blank, there are missing value. But still, this age group survive. And can you see this? As it's not clean, it's having a lot of mess. We are not able to take a decision correctly. Correct? That's the reason. Whenever you are doing all these things, before that, clean these things and make it into Mr. and Mrs. All only unique, not this duplicate values.
Right. Right.
And so everyone understood how to create slices?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sure.
Now, I'll give the data, the same data set to everyone. Take it and start creating the same thing in yours and see. Now, don't you think whatever we use, this much is enough to explore the COVID-19 data set? Same logic. Everywhere it's same.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So first let me, so how to share the file? Is there a
Okay, sir. What I understand is any data we can group by age, gender wise, age wise, income wise, like that.
Yes.
So you can share over mail, sir. Official
put it
mail.
in this chat box.
Yeah. You can put it. You can put the link in the chat box, sir.
Sir, I have one question on that file. Can you just switch to the file one? Yeah, sure.
The file is there in the chat box. Yeah.
On the first sheet where we had done the descriptive stats. So what information all we can refer, like we have kurtosis, skewness. What does it mean basically? Is how we can infer more information from this?
Give me a second. So basically for a categorical variable, you will find what is the very frequent one, what is the what to say, repeating. Give me a second. Can I take a 5 minutes?
Yeah, of course, sir. Yeah, sure.
Sure, sir.
So actually my mom gave some Ayurvedic medicine. After I'm just taking it, suddenly we breathes. I just got some suffocation.
Hope you're fine now.
Not
Yeah,
an
I'm
issue,
fine.
sir.
I'm fine.
Not an issue, sir. You can always take a break whenever you want.
Yeah.
Not
But
an issue.
suddenly that was little heavy, and it got stuck on my throat. Yeah, now I'm fine. So what I'm telling is, like, basically to evaluate on what range for example, if it's age column,
Have some
we'll know.
models.
Pardon?
Have some model.
Water.
Mm.
I had it. That's why it's slowly getting down. Okay. See, it is descriptive statistics we are doing on every single column to understand how is the distribution, what is a common age group, what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, and on what range everything, how variants are there, how the standard deviations are there. This kurtosis and skewness is nothing but they are the. Have you seen a distribution chart?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We have seen that.
Normal bell-shaped curve.
So this is a bell curve.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a good normal distribution. This is which is negatively skewed. That means it is skewed in the right side. Here you can see. Can you see this? Skewed means data is very much pushed. The majority of that age group comes in the last. And this is positively skewed. That is in the left side it's skewed. Do you understand that? What I'm telling? In this,
yes.
The average, if I'm taking an age, middle average age is 29. There, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It should be a bell curve. But this skewness is, we will know which side of age group it's more, the number
towards.
of records are more.
Yeah.
Got it? So these are the information we get it when you do a analysis on the descriptive statistics.
So in the first case, the outliers are more on the left hand side, and in the second case, the outliers are more on the right hand side. So basically,
Correct.
skewness gives us the direction of the outliers. In
Correct.
which direction more of the outliers
Where
are.
the data distribution is focused on. I mean, the entire fulcrum of it is where it is focused on. Got it?
It should have
Mean
been
median,
ideally distributed on both sides of the central tendency.
if it is ideally
If it is not,
distributed and if it is a bell curve, then it's
then
very
only
fun. It's very good.
But
Always.
looking at the survive table, sir, doesn't it says that it is well distributed because its deviation is 0.48 and skewness is very close to that?
See, survived column is a binary variable. So number of people died and number of people who survived. Then you plot it, you will see an uneven distribution. So only there are two. You can see both of them. Both the things have different things. I used to survived here. Now, if I'm selecting the same survived for a new survival rather than that one, I'm going to the new survival. I'm taking a descriptive statistics and I'm selecting this column. Sorry, I have to select this column and I want to bring the outcome in this range. And if I go and click OK, non-numeric. Can you see this?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So just because it's in zeros and ones, the descriptive statistics creates a summary has been created. Okay. Now I want everyone to take this data set, whatever I sent. I think everyone got it in the chat, right?
Yeah.
And start exploring it and come up with some insights in next 10 minutes. At least few insights. You can play around with it. Till that, I'm open for questions. Meantime.
Sir, this is Navran speaking.
Yeah.
So I have a question regarding a flash file. So you gave an example for Mr. and Mrs., right? But in that, the designation comes under between two names. So when you showed the other example, you showed regarding perished and survived. So we were able to retrieve only P and S from it. So in this specific reason, can we extract a data between two names for Mrs. and Miss, etc.?
Yeah.
So can you please show an example?
Names will not come because names will be keep on changing. Different types of names will be coming. So there is one way we can do it. For example, in the same example, let me take the So let me add a new column to the left of it. And I'll move this. So what I'm going to do is here what I'm doing, BRAUND. Okay. Name. I'm getting the first name.
Okay.
CUMINGS HEIKKINEN. A few or 4 examples you take it. FUTRELLE. Now, last example you click this and click a flash fill. Can you see this?
Yes. So we got all the first names with respect to name. So
like that you can do it for anything.
Yeah. So can we take specifically Mr. Mrs. as these designation comes under two names? So is it possible to retrieve that individually?
Means,
for example, we've got Moran, Mr. James. So can we specifically take Mr. out of the three names?
Yeah, that's what we did, no? See, delete it. Here, this is Mr. Right?
Yes.
Mr.
Earlier we did that.
MRS, MIS, then MR. Then just click it, flash fill.
So the other ones we'll have to edit it because we've got Mr. .w. So
You will not get 100% correct.
Okay.
That you can go to this point and see all the different combinations. Click the thing which you don't need and go and replace it.
Oh, okay, sir. I got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm unable to get the file. Would you please paste it again in the chat box?
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, one question around the interval which we have got in the chart. So how did we assign that age interval? I missed that part.
Which one you said?
On the age, the interval is coming right on the chart. So is it because of the histogram or?
Yeah. That's what I did is I just went to the pivot table. And let me again create a pivot table based out on this entire.
Sir,
I'll go to
your
insert.
screen is not visible.
Okay. Now, can you see the screen?
Yep.
I selected that. I went and click a recommend pivot table. Can you see this?
Yep.
Now, there are few things which is already filled. I don't want these things. P class. Now, age group is there. Correct? Let me view a little more bigger. You can see here, I'm right clicking on this age field and I go and click the group. I can extend, I want to keep 10. Click OK. Now I am splitting into 10.
Okay.
Got it? Anything you can group it. And this is a bin, which is every 10 interval. That's how we can create it.
So it is based on the recommended pivot table and not the normal.
Normal, no. You can directly put a normal pivot table also. We can go and create a, see, let me go to the insert. Let me do this. I'm going to insert. I'm coming here. And I go to the insert. I click a pivot table. Now it will ask for selecting the range and you can create it. Simply, or you can directly click a recommended pivot table, which will open it up. With few default value, you can delete it, whatever is not needed. Start playing around it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So what is this blank field suggesting?
Blank field is nothing but missing value. Age is missing. So when we do analysis, a very interesting phenomenon is like you can see blank field, everyone survived. It is females. Correct. Yes. Now, if I click males, you can see in blank field only few survive and majority is male. So we can understand that this can be an age group where a female can be between that age group. Here you can see.
It can assume the model value also, sir.
This is basically showing us all females survived even blank. So that it clearly shows that wherever it is blank, that is nothing but it's female. There should not be a male. And even in second, third class, if you can keep the same thing, you can see here still, this all red can be females or kids. So this range can be between this kids, or when you just put here, you can see when it is alone, you can understand that this can be an age group. We can guess an age group based out on the survival pattern. Because when you go to male, you don't have that much clear. But in female, you can see everything is there.
So, in this case, can we say that in case of a missing value, by default, it will assume the model value?
No, missing value, you can either go and replace with mean or median.
So treat it initially before using it in a graph.
But there are sometimes when you keep deep diving into it, once you start getting few patterns, you'll already get an idea what may be this missing value.
So one thing, is it always useful from your experience? Is it always useful to put missing value certain mean, median, mode, or observe it from an perspective and then do the changes?
See, you should never replace it mean and median blindly like that. When you are doing a model building, fine, but it is always better to observe it completely, isolate it, and from all the analysis, you will get some clues about what can be that missing value. And based out on that, you can take a decision. So it's better to keep it like missing itself.
So it may also be an indicator to the failure of the model, like when the failure of something, like if we're in the first part we discussed so many questions, that missing value may reflect some of the answers for which we may be looking for.
Correct.
That was my perspective of asking that question.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. May I, sir, please?
Yes, please.
So long we were talking about a general structured and unstructured data. Sir, am I audible?
Give me a second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
So mine is a very general question. Structured and unstructured data we are talking about now, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any separate platform to convert the labels if I want to fit into unstructured data into a structured data, or does it need to be done on a manually only?
Can you give me an example what you mean by your context of unstructured data?
In LinkedIn and lot of social networks, like we happen to collect the data now, sir. Like we have this, we are talking about like the age and all those perished cases and all those. It's structured one. Like we have labels and under that we have
Got it. Understood. See, you anywhere when you scrape any data, end of the day you have to bring it into a tabular structure.
Okay, sir.
There are lots. Some scripts are available. Some people can code it, and some can even get it done from someone. But end of the day, your point is on analyzing rather than sitting and scraping the things.
So based on my problem statement, I have to do it on my own.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You can get help from others also.
Okay, sir. Okay. I just want to ask, is there any software so that if I'll give the labels, it will automatically come and sit on that under that label?
Yeah, there are a lot of suggestions, but it won't be 100% accurate as well.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, when I select the pivot table, at that time only showing to build a report to speed means the data is not populated first time means without recommendation.
So you're not getting that option.
Yes. Not means after selecting the whole data sets, you may go to insert and then choose the pivot table. It automatically open a new window, new sheet. Okay. But here showing to build a report choose field means data is not populated by default. Means when you select the recommendation, that time the data is already there, right? But whenever I started from scratch, then only showing the pivot table one.
I'll show you. Wait.
This one.
Can you see the screen?
Yes. This one.
When you are getting, see, I'm going to this sheet number 1. Okay. Select everything. Go to insert.
Okay.
Pivot table. Click it. You got it. Now you can see in the left. If you click onto it, it will open up the window like this. Again. Got it?
Okay. Means by default data the value will not come. I have to choose from this field.
If you are going with the recommend pivot table, it will come. But in a normal, it will not come.
Okay, sir.
So, how many of them felt today's session was useful?
Very useful, sir.
True,
So
sir. You were
very nice.
It's very nice, sir. It's very useful.
So,
I have one small question.
Yeah.
It's good.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear me? I have one small question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, is it always advisable to manage the replacement part of missing values during the data cleaning process?
I didn't get you.
Sir, is it necessary that the replacement of the missing values should be done in the data cleaning process? Or
Definitely.
Can
you can
we
either
leave
put
just
it
like
missing
that?
or you can put missing as one placeholder.
Okay.
And consider that as a missing value.
Okay.
It depends.
How far is it recommended to replace by a mean, sir?
I'll ask you to replace with a mean when you have a very big continuous variable. It's not a very serious issue. You can replace with the mean or medians. And if it is a categorical variable, most of the time we replace with a mode.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
I got it.
So I think everyone understood today's thing. Now, whatever I
Sir, I
talked till
have a
now.
question.
Yes.
Sir, what is this patch attribute defined in this Excel sheet?
That
We haven't done it.
just Google it. Just see Titanic dataset and see what is this metadata is there.
Okay. Because in order to do analysis, we should know at least what attribute. Is.
Yeah. So that is a homework.
Sir, sir, I have a question. So I was trying to figure out, like, we talked about whether there is a relation between people who are on board or not. So I just wanted to figure out, like, how we can identify what percentage of the people who is a part of this data set belongs to a single family. I mean, what is the ratio? How can we do that? I was trying to do that, but I am unable to figure out any
So
factors.
we will connect regarding this definitely, because I got I have to wind up this session because of that. And during chamber consultation session, just put it. I'll just sit and explain all these things. Okay. Just figure it
Sir,
out.
kindly could you just send the work done by you as soon as possible?
Which one?
So the work done in the Excel sheet. Could you just share it as soon as possible so that we can also practice the same?
I've shared it. I've shared it in the chat box.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
That's the raw file, sir, I believe.
Sorry to interrupt, but I am unable to get the link in the chat box. So
No
I'm
link.
trying,
There is
but
a file. Directly, it's a file.
Just even file I am not getting. That's why.
No, file is here.
So can you email this? That would be great.
Okay. I can anyone just send me a mail? I will send them. You can forward to them.
Sure. Sir.
Okay. Can anyone just leave me a mail? I will do one thing. I will share it to them. From there, you will be having a group. No, there you can share it.
Sir, you were saying in the last session that you will share that presentation in your
Yeah, I'll do
session.
that. I'll do it.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
I did share in our group also. WhatsApp group also I shared. Same.
Okay.
Fine. Sir, I have pasted our group ID
Yeah,
in
I will
chat
give it
window.
there. I'll send it there. So just once again, like a happy Raksha Bandhan, just have a great time and start exposing more of the data. Play with it. Come up with some good, interesting insight. First, ask different questions. Take this as a practice on different data sets. Ask questions and solve the answers using whatever tricks I gave you. Then come in the next class. Fine.
So, sir, we have to send back this file after we do the analysis, or
you can create an analysis, create a PPT as a deck, upload it into Google Slides, whatever is your observation with the snapshot, and just explain it. That's enough. Okay. Okay then. Thank you.
See you, sir. Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.